So the question I had today, and if you have a question you want me to answer, put it below. It was, what is the energy behind anger? Like anger that just won't let go. What is going on in the body and why is that keep happening? I'm Tracy L. I'm the creator and founder of the TLC Body Regeneration Academy, teaching you all about health, wealth, and intuition. Yes, it's fabulous to know if you're going down the rabbit hole when the aliens are coming, but it's really not helping your life. So when you prep for understanding what are the emotions, what's happening behind your body, then you become the guru of your life. You become the master of your life. I teach it in bite-sized chunks. So going from blue pill to red pill, or old earth to new earth, we have to function quite differently. You have been under the programming of the authoritative bodies for so long, from birth to whenever you finished your school, and then we're in their systems, right? So they've programmed you. So when we do energy work, remember, billionaires use intuitives, they use energy healers, and they also use astrologers and card readers. They have, and I know a few who have, they use me. So I'll tell you guys, it's interesting because there's this other space. They use us because they want to tell you that they're woo-woo, because they don't want you to use us. All of us light workers. Yeah, did you know that? Anyhow, so yeah, they don't want you to really be in that space. And it's because it's a space for them, but they use it for bad. So why don't you learn it, take control of your life, and use it for good? It's exactly what you want to do. Now, one of the things around anger and the energy behind anger is when it perpetuates over and over. So typically, if you've had a really bad experience, like let's say divorce or something, right? That anger can be there. We want to see it start to dissipate after about the 6 month process. That's typically the time to work through anger, but we're not taught about it. So anger is a great emotion. You need to get it out. It can spike up and down, right? If you're angry for a day, that's one thing, but it's perpetual anger. And you see this in people that if people are talking really poorly about their exes and they're angry, they have unresolved trauma. I've had people that have been in my life, I've let them go, and they're still angry. I haven't seen them in years, and they're still angry that relationship has ended. And it's interesting because usually what happens is they have a lot of unresolved trauma that came long before you, or there's things that they just want and need so badly, but they're not able to fulfill it in themselves. They found you were fulfilling it. So when you leave, they get very angry and you will become their target. So it's not uncommon. It's a very common thing. I'm always very cautious when people speak poorly of people, and I'll say, so, how long ago was this? Like if it was a month ago or whatever, you can see they're working through it. But if it's actually been more than 6 months, I'm like, whoa, you got a lot of unresolved trauma. And you can see it in the body. So what happens is all these experiences accumulate. So if you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard. A lot of people get very angry that they can't resolve they don't feel their life went in the direction they wanted. But they're so busy getting mad at other people and blaming other people because they're terrified to look within. But really, they're actually very angry at themselves. One of the things you can do is just give them what they require. Give them what they require. It's a simple tool I teach because they're angry at themselves that they allowed their life to go in a direction. They didn't stand up for themselves. They took a safe route. Like a lot of people, they stay in marriages, for example, because it's safety around the money versus going into a relationship in something that's going to be fulfilling, right? That's why anger is also one of the root causes that will stem arthritis. You should see the stories and testimonials around arthritis and anger with clients that I've worked with. Cancers, a lot of energy. So the energy behind cancer is very stemmed from a lot of suppressed anger. Now, children are very different, but I'm talking adults or later in life. Why do you think a lot of adults get very sick later in life? So yes, it's all the toxins and pollutions, but it's also, not making yourself a priority, things not going the way they are. And a lot of people, if you listen to people that share their stories of family and loved ones on their last final days, their regret isn't, that they didn't make a bazillion dollars. It's that they didn't spend time doing things that made them happy, that they didn't actually have the courage to break out of something and change the direction of their life. So when people are outwardly very, very angry at other people, or they're bad-mouthing other people, it's about unresolved trauma of things that they feel they didn't get achieved in their own life, and you will become their target all the time. If you leave somebody's world because it's holding you back and you intuitively know that and you need to go, it's not, I always say to people, you know, I still love you. It's just we're not good in each other's space. We've just grown apart, right? And so it's holding you back. So you don't want to be held back. I typically will give someone 6 months to a year in my field to make those changes. If they can't make the changes, we're not compatible. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean I don't love them anymore, whether it's friends or relationships. It just means, you know, you're growing, you're moving. And then they'll find ways to, you know, go out there, and you've all heard it, right? They speak ill will, they do something, but that's always a reflection of them. That's a reflection of what they're going through, what they didn't process. And that's okay. That's okay. They're allowed to be there. But as empaths, you'll feel it and you might get hurt and you might be saying, well, why would you do that? Like, that's not what happened. But they need to justify in themselves. So they start to use this energy of justification to justify why they are able to badmouth you or why they say this negative emotions or why they're there. And if you are their friends perpetuating it, you're also contributing to the problem. Versus what you could say is, why are you so hurt by that? Why is there so much anger? Okay, well, they don't want to be my friend or my lover anymore. Okay, but it's further than that, because if you're hanging on to the anger, then this is a repetitive pattern of things that perhaps loss you didn't handle well. You were very angry and unresolved still with loss in your life at an early age, or not being loved and feeling loved maybe the way you want to be or feel you should be. So rather than going within, they'll go without. And I see this a lot in the spiritual community, because people can get really good at saying the talk, like doing the talk, but they're not living it. They're not walking it. And I've seen this a lot of times when people are blah, 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 and they all sound great, but you're sitting there going, something is really off, because they're not doing it. And that's the growth. And that's okay. Some people, this is it. I always say, you know, it's like a staircase, and it's okay if they stop here. Just love them and let them go, but don't badmouth them, and then let you keep going. Eventually you're like this. And when you come back in another lifetime, if you believe in that and you want to choose that, you know, you might wait another couple hundred years and they might come back 5 or 6 times before you meet again, because they need to learn the lesson, the experience. So one of the things you want to add is, truthfully, does this have anything to do with me? You're seeing more and more angry people with rage in the world right now. And the reason you're seeing it is they feel violated, and it's bringing up all the other imprints. If you watch my other video, I talk about imprints. So it's an emotion that then imprints in the body, and that imprint attaches to the motion, right? So when you move the imprint, what is the reason you're feeling angry? When you move the energy of that out of the body, it actually releases and lets go, and you feel calm. You're like, okay, have a bad day, I don't care. That makes people really pissed off too, when you really don't care anymore. It's like you're allowed to be there. But people are so angry in the world right now because they have felt violated. They have felt not heard. They have not felt respected. Look at how the authoritative bodies have pushed that narrative. Division, you don't matter, discard them. You don't do what I say, get out of here. You don't do what I say, get out of here. And that is exactly not the energy. There's a big difference between you don't do what I say, so get out of here, versus what I'm talking about is like, look, this kind of behavior doesn't work in my structure. So if someone's creating division over this, for example, that shows how much fear they have inside, versus, okay, well, you have that, you're protected, you don't, let's be kind to each other, let's love each other, let's embrace each other. But also in personal relationships, when you grow and evolve, you'll just vibrate out, it's okay. But when they stick here, so they got to prove a point. Usually they need to be right. And they use the anger to be seen and to be heard. But again, it usually goes back to things that happened in childhood and teenage land. Usually up to about 13, 14 years old. And there's a lot of that. It's a daily work, a daily process of looking and say, why did that really bother me? Why did that trigger me? You know, I like to tell this story. During the last couple of years, there was a very prominent politician that would come on the TV every day. And when I would see him, I would get enraged. And I was like, whoa, what is happening here? Like, that's not like me. I'm usually like, okay. And I will be I've had to learn to not be overgiving, because I'll be overgiving and then again, that would make me mad. So I had to learn to have people in my life that are more in balance and harmony. Again, I'm like you, I had to learn that. So this politician would come up and I would become enraged. So when I went in and looked, because I'm like, I don't want to feel this. So I went in. Why is this person enraging me so much? And when I looked at it, he looked exactly like all the boys growing up that bullied me. He had the same round, the same face, everything that was bullying and bullying and bullying. And even though I'd done all the work, there was another piece. It's like another layer that came up. And I was like, oh my gosh, so it's not about him. He's just doing his role in life, whatever. I went in, but most people are like, oh God, and they're pointing the fingers and blah, 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 blah. And I know a lot of these people do need to leave. They do. But they're playing their role to, wake people up, whatever. But when I went in and realized there was a piece that wanted to leave me of where I was being bullied. And when I let that go and use the tools that I teach, and I went in, I can look at the dude. It doesn't bother me at all. There's like nothing. So I knew at that point was a signal to me, be the whatever you want to be, that's fine, but it's no longer affecting me. I was allowing it to affect me because I had a programming that still was an imprint. I had an imprint in my body that now surfaced because they don't all come at once and was ready to let go. So I was able to remove that within under a week. This is why we do the work, because when we do that work and learn inside that everything's inside and stop projecting, we start to understand how to shift and how to change. And then life becomes better because things don't bother you like they did. And then you can love those people and let them go. And if they want to talk smack about you and they want to be rude and they can't go within and say, oh my God, and find that humility, that's okay. Love them. Don't talk smack about them and let them go. Just let them go and just keep sending them what they require. So if you want to learn how to shift the energy and you want to learn and understand how you can become empowered, that's what I teach, health, wealth, and intuition. Click and come join me in the Miraculous Academy. You can join me on the free Telegram. I've got a free membership that you can learn little bits. There's always something going on to help you understand. But here's the thing. If your health has to be number one, your health is your wealth. And I learned that after many experts told me I wasn't supposed to be here anymore. So I changed it. I was my own test subject. And many people, we had a testimonial recently of a gentleman who said, I just watched all your, YouTube videos and videos like that, and my arthritis went, because he was able to go within and he learned just from that. Because again, arthritis, cancers stem from the root of anger that can't get out of the body. So give yourself a gift of you. Where do you become a priority? Like I said, great to know when the aliens are coming. Well, no, Star Trek's real. I've been saying that since I was a little child and for years in my own practice. But I'll tell you, when you make yourself a priority, it's not easy. And learning in bite-sized chunks is why we do it that way, because it can get overwhelming. Because there's a lot that has to come up. But you become the power of you. You become the master of you. Get rid of the gurus. Get rid of the worship. Become in control of your life, which means you're going to have to make changes. So if there's something you want, you're going to have to change it, which means you're going to have to let go of people, places, and things along the way. All right, I love you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, and share. Comment below. Let me know if there's a video you want to understand what the energy is behind something. I'll put it up for you. We're trying to do the videos every Monday and Thursday, so you have time to digest. And again, come check me out in the Telegram. And I hope you have an incredible week and that has really made you have some food for thought. Those angry people are not about you. It's about them. Give them what they require. Cut off the energy. Much love, everybody.